your host, Alicia Coleman, with our special guest, Ethan Montang. And I've known Ethan for a couple years now, and he is a very creative investor. He owns 74 units. He has a team that he's done this with. But he is my inspiration from the real estate journey that I have been a part of. And I have all my shout outs to you for helping me get started and showing me this lifestyle that you have created yourself. So before we dig into it, Ethan, I just want to get your version of how we know each other.
Well, thank you for the nice things you said about me. I appreciate that. Why don't you're the one that's memory is all spotty about the night. I remember it just fine. What do you remember about how we met?
I just remember I was in line with my friends in Seattle, and we never go to Seattle. This was a girls' night, and we're like, let's go to Seattle. And so we go down to Seattle to go party, and I guess we were in line, and I was hungry, and I went to go get a hot dog. But
yeah, I was with another real estate investor actually, and I was out there for an event, and you were in line, and I started flirting or hitting on you a little bit, and then you got out of line, or you guys had gotten kicked out. I think y'all got kicked out of the club. Yeah, and you were like telling me the story, and you're gonna try and get back in or some shit.
I wasn't done partying
because your friends were still in there. Yeah. But then, long story short, you went over, you got out of line and went and got a hot dog. And when you were coming back, I remember thinking to myself, I scooted over to the side of the road that you were on. I was near the window of the bar, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm be on the side of the street. So that when she walks back through line, I'll be able to talk to her. And you were devouring, inhaling this hot dog as you walked by me and completely forgot about me, and I wanted to ask for your number and stuff. It was pretty funny, yeah. And then I was like, man, she is just not worried about any dudes tonight, just out here smashing a dog.
Girls' night. What can I say?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just like how I took down the hot dog, take me down your journey.
There's not much in this world I've encountered that can take things down the way you took down that hot dog.
Okay, well, I just want you to take me down your journey. And why did you feel like this is the path to take?
Of real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, Dad was in the military, got hurt downrange. Mom had to start cleaning people's houses. I wrestled in college, and it didn't really work out. So then I was like, I got to figure out something to do to take care of my family. And so at 2021, when I dropped out of college, I started studying financial literacy, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which you got right behind you. And then by 23, I bought my first rental property, and I was like, okay, this has to be, if I own real estate, then I'll always own something, regardless of what happens, unless there's something really, really bad that happens. The population will always be increasing, and if I own real estate, then I'll always own something that was valuable. And that was kind of the tipping point where I was like, well, I want to travel, and I want to give my mom a bunch of money and retire her. And so since 21, I've kind of been, decade now. I've been on this real estate journey. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you kind of found a lifestyle that you wanted to live, and real estate was something that can provide you that lifestyle.
Correct. Yep.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool. Tell us what your goal is, where you want to be, and what you're working on right now.
I'm working on my first, I've been doing quite a bit of creative financing, seller financing. We've talked about that. But I am doing a new subcategory of that, where it's called substitution of collateral, substitution of security. And I'm still learning, so I might be butchering some of this vocabulary. But basically, it's where I can transfer the collateral that a note is attached to when I purchase a property. So, for example, if when I'm doing creative financing, I want to chase debt right now. A lot of people don't understand. I chase terms and notes. It's if I don't want the property, that's okay. I'm more concerned with the terms inside the note, and I can move that collateral elsewhere, purchase that property, then sell that property. If I move the collateral elsewhere, then I own that asset free and clear, which means then when I sell it, I get all that cash and I can reinvest it elsewhere. And then the debt, the note, is collateralized by a different asset. And so then it's just very scalable. And I have yet to do it, but the day before I flew out here to see you, I purchased a duplex. And on the 5th, I resell it, and it's doing that exact strategy.
And you're getting all cash for that
I'm
one.
getting all
That is
cash
so
back.
cool.
Yeah, 100 grand.
This is your first deal like that, right?
This is not my first seller finance deal, but my first substitution of collateral. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain seller financing to people that don't know?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. The owner of a property takes position that a bank would, and the seller finances me. Seller financing, they finance me the property directly. Therefore, I make them payments, and they relinquish ownership, transfer ownership to me. And just like I would make my mortgage payments to a bank, instead I make that to them. And if I don't make those payments, they foreclose and they take their property back.
Yeah. Yep.
But it makes everything negotiable. So when people are buying houses that are at prime rates right now of 7 and 8%, the seller financing deal that I just got was for 4 years at 4.25% interest.
And how often do you do that? Like
All the time.
That's
like
all the time.
I wouldn't say all the time. Multiple times a year.
Yeah.
So,
And you prefer that?
seller financing? Yeah, of course, for sure.
What's the biggest struggle with creative financing?
Probably finding the deals, but I don't. That's just any part of real estate. That's the hardest part, is to find the deals.
To fund the deals?
Find the deals.
Oh, find the deals.
Yeah, funding a good deal is never hard to fund.
What's your buy box that you like to focus on?
Cash on cash, probably 12.5% for multifamily.
Any type of unit number,
No.
50 and above, or?
No, I don't even care about all that, as long as I'm not managing it. So there's got to be a management fee worked into. Yeah,
right.
I still have to meet my 12.5% after paying 6 to 7 to 8% in gross to a management company.
Cool. So where do you see yourself going from here on out? What's your end goal that you're trying to get to in the next 5 years? Let's just put a little amount of that.
I'll be a millionaire in the next, for sure. No, it's not going to take me that long. Probably 12 to 18 months, I should hit $1 million in net worth. Not in my bank. There's $1 million cash.
Right.
But my net worth should be over $1 million.
Does that excite you, or does that you just expect it because of the work that you put in? And
yeah. Well, I mean, it is exciting, but it's just a number, and yeah, it's expected. It's mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that your first million is going to be the hardest?
Probably. They say the second million's way easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope so.
All right. So I'm going to keep you accountable, and I'm going to check back in 12, 18
yeah, I like
months and
that.
make sure that you're a millionaire.
I'll make sure I'm a millionaire.
Because my goal is 33. So.
You want to be a millionaire by 33?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool.
What are some struggles that you went through that people might be able to relate to? And that can be with anything. It doesn't have to be real estate in general, but just your journey of entrepreneurship.
I'm probably just thinking I'm not good enough, or that it's too, I'm not smart enough. I think a lot of people are just oh, it's too hard. Well, it is really hard, but I think it's more consistency than being hard, and having discipline is what's hard.
Right.
To stay consistent.
Right.
Having the discipline to stay consistent, that's what's difficult.
I 100% agree with that, especially just doing this podcast. How nervous.
How long did it take us to do
It took
this?
us forever.
Freaking
I was
6 o'clock
supposed to
on
watch this
Saturday,
podcast
7 o'clock
long
on.
time ago. But you just do it, right? You have to get into the uncomfortable positions that you put yourself in to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then it'll be comfort.
Yeah.
But
Seek discomfort.
seek discomfort. Yes, that's the quote. Oh, that's the title of this podcast.
I like that.
Okay.
It's added.
Can we dig deep on, I know you went through some really personal things, and you overcame so much. Losing your sister last year. How did you manage your team and your business while going through something so heavy?
To be honest, I think because of the circumstances, with her passing the way she did, I think my team gave me a really good pass. I didn't manage them the best. I had practiced a lot of pay it forward behavior up until then, so I really do have a lot of good people around me, and I've never been against taking money out of my own pocket to make sure the people on my team were getting paid. So I think because of those things and the circumstances when it happened, they kind of just let me disappear. I had the night before it happened, we were supposed to close on the 57plex the very next day. Mm-hmm. And obviously that was the biggest apartment building I've ever bought.
And that's one with your sister, right? That
Eden
were getting into.
Well, she wasn't going to be in any ownership position, but Eden had started working for me. Well, my whole family was all of those things still currently, but she was going to be at the meeting. We were at a business meeting with Shannon, who's the co-owner of my construction company. This guy Kurt, he owns his own construction company. Dustin, which is my business partner, and we own a sixplex together. My mom and Elise and Thaddeus, in this business room, all talking about how we were supposed to close the next day when we got the call about Eden. So I think thank goodness I had put in a lot of work prior to, and they gave me the pass. And then I left. Did a bunch of dope shit in Asia. In Asia.
Yeah, well,
And then came back, and now and all those people that I put into that deal that took care of that, they got ownership in that deal without putting any money in. So I think that made it a lot easier. It was the first time I had given away equity, real ownership in a $2.4 million asset to 4 different people, 7.5% each. So it gave away 30% of that building without getting any cash. Just to pay my team back,
right?
And to pay it forward. So because of that, because I had done those things. Oops.
Cheers.
Shit. Yeah.
Cheers to that. For being a good investor and taking care of your team. We'll drink to that.
I think that's why I got the pass from them. So. Yeah.
That's really cool. And that's a huge part of also what we were talking about earlier, how creative you are. Not many people do that. Mm-hmm. And it's very important to take care of the people that are helping you grow into your success.
Yeah.
I love that. With all those, emotions and everything, this podcast is about digging deep into your 8 dimensions of wellness of life. I just want to know from financial, environmental, physical, spiritual, emotional, occupational, intellectual, and health. What are 2 of those that you are gifted at?
I think in that list, I'd probably say that I've been blessed or gifted with having a pretty physically fit body type.
Well, yeah, you freaking demolish houses like freaking no other, freaking
a lot of the demos.
Batshit crazy.
The demo is easy. I mean, it's fun, but it's easy, So I think that as hard as I am on my body, I am blessed to have it hold up the way it is. And then intellectually, I think I've been blessed with gifted with being creative.
Yeah.
With deal structure, with negotiations, with video editing, looking at things differently.
Learning fast, learning the vocabulary.
I don't know if I learned fast.
Oh, really?
I might be a little bit behind the curve.
I think you learn pretty fast.
Good boy. Good boy. But, I think I've been, when a ton of issues get piled on, or there's a situation. I think I've been blessed with not getting like overwhelmed with everything. I'm good at problem solving and being creative, and let me take in the information that I have and try and make the best educated decision and move forward.
Yeah. If somebody's struggling with like one of those two that you're good at, what goal could you like help them set for themselves to succeed in those areas?
To be blessed physically, I don't know what. Just to be a boss, be a badass.
Just go do work.
Seek discomfort.
Okay. Yeah.
Seek discomfort, and then as far as I think if you practice things, if you put yourself in situations where you're negotiating, and you're forcing yourself to be creative, rather than just looking at things in a very singular dimension, you can move differently and realize there's multiple terms that you can use, or different ways you can put a deal together to make it functional, or anything with that matter.
It's so true, because you can literally take different knowledge from different people and like kind of create your own style, your own version, and your own creative way with all the investing and being an entrepreneur in that sense. So
exactly,
I love that.
Yeah.
To go on top of that, what do you think are two of the wellnesses that you should or need to be focusing on?
I wrote something down over here. Dang. Spiritual and health. I think for as hard as I am on my body physically and the way it holds up, I think I should be better about eating healthier consistently. I have been having a better diet recently, but the consistency part, staying consistent with a good diet is super difficult.
They do say
soda out.
You cut sodas?
I cut soda out. I still do
cut
energy
the sodas
drinks.
out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't drink soda, so
Yeah.
glad you made it to this side.
Yeah.
It's so bad for you. I mean,
it is. It's
what you're
so
putting
bad.
in your body, all that toxic, like all that sugar, and
it matters.
it carries you through the day, like in a different way.
Affects
so
your headspace too.
Being cloudy and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yes. What about spiritual? So you mentioned spiritual. What do you think you need to work on in that area? I know that.
I'm just in my own journey with it. I think that there's been a lot of situations I don't have very much understanding of why they worked out the way they did, and sadly I'm one of those people that's like an analytical or logistical thinker, so understanding is key, and kind of just who I am as a person. And when I don't get that, and there's no real way to get that, it tends to like consume me at points. So I think when it comes to spiritually, I just need more time to continue figuring myself out, and I think that'll polish itself out when I do that. Yeah,
in the relationship with God. But I can see, like, you don't give up. You don't, just because of what had happened to your life, like, you're not giving up in that sense of being spiritual and having a relationship with God, which is super telling about you. And like, I hope that you find a better peace in mind with that in your wellness. So I will be praying for you and hoping the best on that journey of your focus.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
To follow up with that, actually, you even gave me a Bible verse, because in Unleash Gold Diggers, we do end with scripture. And Ethan actually gave me a scripture to read off today as a recommendation without even asking, which is super cool. He stated that 1 John 3:17 through 18, and it reads, "If anyone has material possessions..." Did you want to read it? Or you want me to read it?
Oh, sure. I don't care.
Okay. Well, it don't matter. Okay, here.
Yeah, you do it. You can clip it. It's a podcast.
Okay, 1 John 3:17, 18. It reads, "If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but not only has no pity on them, how can they love..." I'm messing this up.
Give it to me.
Which I am. Okay, so
start again.
We already know that at least does.
You gotta start it again. You're gonna mess up the.
Gosh dang it. So Ethan, as a recommendation, without even asking, gave a Bible verse to read off today, and I'm actually gonna give him the honors. He didn't know this, but
Okay.
I'm gonna give him the honors to
So
read it,
watching it to me right now.
and you're gonna read it.
What if
Well,
you typed it wrong?
from
What if
your
you typed
heart.
it wrong? You
From your
know?
heart. No, this is a good. This is
If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in the truth.
and that was 1 John
1 John 3,
3,
17 and 18.
17, 18. That's awesome. And why did you pick that verse in your version of? Because we were talking about a couple of verses, and then you threw that one out, and I thought that was a really cool verse.
I think it deals with the podcast. I think it deals with your podcast, my kind of life passion of wanting to help people when I see them in need, and even though it might not be in
Help
right
them.
now, it might not be in like physical or financially be able to help them. I can hopefully help them with some wisdom or some
Intellectual,
value.
yeah.
With a way to look at money and move forward in the future.
Well, yeah, because we knew each other, like, and you were just so gracious or not really knowing each other, but like when I saw that you were on this journey with real estate and being an entrepreneur, and like you're creating cash flow, which is exactly what I read in Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's the vehicle that I've always been wanting to find. Right, I've tried MLMs and like Amway and stuff, but hearing it from you and seeing proof from a young guy like you, or like relating to the same age, it was super cool that there is something out there like this. And as soon as you were just being like super giving with all your knowledge of the right books to point people in, specifically me, like you gave me the right books to read, and it grew me, and it got me into the mentorship program, which got me, to doing my thing with funds and stuff. So it's super cool that you are just so willing to give back your knowledge and not hold it. So I appreciate you, and I know that hot dog in my mouth is gonna make me millions from meeting you. So I have to definitely. I'm glad I went to Seattle that night and had an experience with that hot dog, and you were, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also want to thank you so much for flying out. Like, you're from Iowa. You also have a house in Kansas too, right?
Yeah, I have two primaries now. Yeah.
Go back and forth. That's insane. So you'll have to come to Texas more often, so we can at least do some more micro clips and stuff that we never got to.
Not my fault.
But yeah, Unleash Gold Diggers wants to thank you for coming on,
Appreciate
and we'll have to have you on again, and where your success is at 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months.
Hopefully you're gonna be sitting here making millions.
Making a million. Millions.
And then last thing, where can people find you and support you and
just
follow you? And
just check me out on my Instagram.
check him out.
Ethan Montang, ETHANMONTANG. So
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
And I'll put that in the description and everything like that.
Good stuff.
Cool. Well, you already know the drill. Everybody out there who's listening and made it this far, thank you so much. And I just want to say, like and subscribe, and let's share the show and build this community up. Peace.
Let's go.
Yeah.